Thank you so much for joining us on another awesome episode of Bioenergetics Beat. I'm Heather Gray, a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and certified bioenergetic practitioner, and this episode is brought to you today by Nikki. Unleash the Wellness Within. It's a non-invasive, easily affordable, and highly effective approach to optimize wellness. It's a wearable device that puts frequency better based life in your hands and on your wrist. Make sure to stick to the very, very end because, as always, we have a wonderful giveaway that we give out on every single episode. But as usual, you're not going to want to miss one word of this next guest because we're going to be talking, some of my favorite topics: chronic illness, right? How to overcome it, why. He's going to tell us a little bit of experience about that he's had with the Nikki. I think he's had Nikki since May, so quite a few months to play around with it. So I'm super excited. Welcome, Dr. Randy, to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yay! So tell us a little bit about yourself, Dr. Randy. Like, how did you become a doctor? Why? How? Why are we talking about chronic illness? And how do you feel about the bioenergetic stuff?
Yeah. So, short story. We'll do the short version. By training, I'm a chiropractor. That was a cool story in and of itself. Had a pretty awesome experience with a doc, and pretty much on the spot decided I'm going into chiropractic school. It was not on the radar really at all, and kind of shocked my wife and family. And then about a year into my own practice, my health completely tanked. I think there were a lot of things leading up to that. From the age of 13, I had struggled with migraines, some debilitating, some, got to go into a dark room, no light, no sound, sometimes for the whole day. And when I started practice, this began to get progressively worse, probably because of the stress. I do feel that I had a form of prediabetes, and I was like skinny fat, right? Couldn't go without eating for more than no. I had to. If I missed an hour of eating or 2 hours, I'd start to feel this warmness, and then it would just turn into this piercing pain, and then I'm gone. Didn't realize it until I went to a naturopath who I met. My mom met coincidentally somewhere, not coincidentally, and she like turned my life around. We radically changed how we ate. I began doing a lot of work with homeopathics. It was my first introduction to the term drainage. So lymphatic, liver, the importance of that. I had no knowledge of that, even going through chiropractic school, and the importance of that nutritionally. Didn't
I
really
was
touch
just
on
gonna
that.
say, yeah, chiropractic school almost is no different than MD school when it comes to nutrition. A lot of the chiropractors I
Yeah.
used to work with, they eat like crap. They're no better.
Yeah. And I didn't eat well either. I mean,
Yeah.
and it showed in my health. And so we completely changed, turned that around. Um, and that was drastic. In that process, when I got sick, I lost 35 pounds. So I'm like 6'4", and to lose 30 pounds when you're only 185 is not good. Um, and then, so change that. But then flash forward, I was still doing chiropractic, and my dad passed away 10 years ago at this time. And after he passed, my sister got super, super ill. Um, Mono, parasites, mold, Lyme. Didn't really know that any of that was going on, but that was all the underlying stuff. And we met a doc that turned her life around, literally saved her life. And then in talking to him, corresponding with him, we moved our whole family from Virginia out to Idaho. I began working with him, and it's just really changed everything. I don't do chiropractic anymore. I'm solely into the health coaching space, working with chronically ill people, and love the ability that gets me to serve others in this way. And I feel like my dad was a catalyst in that, because so much of me changed. More compassion, more empathy, more just love for people and their journey and what they're experiencing, and to really connect with them on that. And I just pour into the people that I work with, and it's wonderful. And it opened my eyes to parasites and mold and Lyme, things that I had no knowledge of, incompetently unconscious about all of those things. And now I get to help people really find the root of what their problems are. And so they get answers to questions and understand why they feel and are the way they are, and have a good roadmap to move out of that space. So it's really beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah. God blessed me with all of those issues firsthand. So I've got to deal with them. But now here I'm on the other side, thank God.
Right.
And being a voice of change and catalyst for others. And I love the fact that you talked about the compassion part and pouring into love, because our typical Western med model, it's just so fast, so clinical, so sterile. We've
Yeah.
like taken the human part out of it. And I mean, that's why I was gaslit for 20 some years, medical, gaslighting. And
Yeah.
it's not uncommon, sadly. And I still run into people people who are living out east even, and their doctors are telling them that the ticks don't live out there and there's not Lyme out there, and you're just crazy. Like this
Yeah.
thing that I was dealing with 10, 15 years ago is still happening, and it just blows my brain.
Yeah. Well, and even in the functional space, there's still, it's so easy to just, here's a protocol,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Just do this. And I think so much of what's missing is the connection. Like, how do we connect with each other? Even if it's over Zoom, you can still connect and understand what that person's going through, and recognize that there's another human and they're seeking love. And I think that a lot of that's still missing, and hopefully there's improvements in that. But anyway, that's a big part of what I feel is missing. Um, and I love diving into that with people.
What a beautiful message, Dr. Randy. This is an awesome spot. We're going to take a quick pause for commercial. When we come back, we're going to dive deeper into uncovering chronic illness, some of his experiences that he's had with the Nikki, and take some actionable steps that you can take today, to start turning your life around. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Cam here, and I just want to take a few minutes and talk about my experience with this new device I just got. It's called a Nikki. I've never heard of this, but it actually like helps you via frequencies. And the cool thing is that like each frequency helps for different outcomes or different reliefs. So there's like a sleep mode. When I go mountain biking, I throw it on energy booster. Once I'm done mountain biking, I actually switch it to the other mode they have, is pain and relief. Anytime after a hard workout, put it on. I'm confident this thing is really going to work based off of what I'm hearing, based off what I'm feeling. So I think the website is We Are Nikki. Really affordable for what this thing is. Nice and sleek. Check it out, We Are Nikki. I've been loving it so far.
Nikki puts a personal wellness center in your hands and on your wrist. Be better. Do better. WeAreNikki.com.
Yay, welcome back. Super excited to dive into the second part. I said a little bit about, my experience with chronic Lyme disease, mold toxicity, autoimmune, 100 pounds overweight. So the whole chronic illness thing, that's my jam, right? That's where I love to work with folks. So I love, rocking out with other practitioners such as yourself, diving in deep and nerding out. So let's do some nerding out. So uncovering chronic illness. Tell us a little bit more about that.
When I first started doing this, and this was now back in Virginia, it was so much about detox, right? We hear that a lot, and that word is like, what does that even mean anymore? But it was all about killing. Like, what do we have to get rid of? And kill this, kill that, whether it's Lyme, parasites, mold. And as I started going down that space and then continuing to try to learn, it's like, wait, there's more to this than just killing. Like, how does the body actually get rid of it? And in learning from others, kind of diving back into my own experience with the naturopath I worked on, she had talked so much about the lymph and the liver, And yet I still didn't have a good grasp on that until really I began to explore that and recognize, wait, is it about killing or is it about draining? Is it about opening up these systems in the body where it can detox? And I really believe that at this point, yes, there are things to be killed and detoxed, but if the liver, the lymphatics, the circulation, if they're not working well, and I'm going to add if there is emotional trauma embedded in the tissues, the fascia, those areas as well, I think that is in large part like what people are missing. And even those that have gone to the functional route, if they're doing Lyme or other things, it's still like massive binders, herbs that are just targeting to kill these different pathogens, and very little is given to the lymph, the liver, the emotional space, the trauma that just from medical illness, chronic illness has created over 10, 15, 20 years of their life. And so there's that missing piece. And I feel that when we're uncovering this chronic illness, the roots to that, we cannot let drainage go, and we cannot brush aside the emotional impact of not only the illness, but stuff in childhood that I think opens up the immune system to be in a place where if you're susceptible, now it's just gonna like blow up.
Absolutely. I tell the story of the, me being a perfect host, from the time my uncle committed suicide when I was 4, kind of set those things, those fires ablaze. And then
Yeah.
it compounded on each other and started the constipation when I was 4. And then I was constipated my whole life, so then when I'm seeing these Western med docs, when I finally got my Lyme disease, right, diagnosis, can you imagine what happened as they're
Oh my
throwing
gosh.
napalm at a body that hasn't pooped in over 30 years,
Yeah.
properly? So I love this conversation of drainage and lymph and detoxing and that eliminating, right? Not necessarily detox kill, detox eliminate.
Right.
Because man, what a freaking game changer that was once we started giving things moving properly. Because before then, man, I thought they were trying to kill me. It was horrible.
And even I mean, pooping obviously is the first step in drainage, but I still find people that are like, well, I eliminate every day, so my drainage is good. And it's like, that's not necessarily true. You may be eliminating, but it still doesn't mean that your lymphatic vessels, that the integrity of those are strong. It doesn't mean that your liver is functioning well. And as we dive into that, it's like, oh yeah, here are all these different aspects. And I mean, just today I was talking to a person about the lymph and leaky lymph. I don't know if you've heard of that term, but like leaky vessels, it's not leaky gut, right? Most people know, oh yeah, leaky gut, there's some increased permeability. But even in the lymphatic system, you can have this leaky vessel where the integrity of the lymph is not good, and that inflammation, that inflammatory soup that the lymph should house and move, leaks out and affects, and it kind of recirculates, retoxifies the body. And i think that's another area where people, I'm pooping, I'm fine. No, you're not. There's all this other aspect to it. And so it's really neat when people start to grasp, oh, I do have pressure here in this liver area. Or when this happens, when I eat this food, I notice that I feel this way. It's like those are signs that you are not draining. And there's any pitting in their legs. They take their socks off. Well, yeah, my socks do leave a line around my legs, but that's fine. No, it's not. It's like you're not draining. Your lymph, your circulation is not there. And there's all these little subtle signs that are chalked up as, oh, it's no big deal, it's age, something else. No, that's like your drainage. That is your pathway to health. And if it's not happening, then I don't think it matters what you do. You're not going to perhaps experience the quality of health or the health optimization that you really want.
No matter how common a symptom may be, it is never normal, right? It is
No,
always
it's
your
not.
body's check engine light going, hello, hello, pay attention, dummy. But a lot of times we take a piece of tape and put it over that check engine light, and then we wonder, why we have a heart attack or
Right.
a stroke or with migraines, or it just keeps, compounding on each other. So tell us a little bit about your experience with the Nikki and, kind of what drew you to that to begin with, and then some of the benefits and things that you've noticed since using it.
Yeah. So this has been cool. I mean, so I've recognized that frequency has a huge role, and everything is frequency, right? Our communication, there's frequency going back and forth. The touch of another person. When so full disclosure, it was funny when I first met Stephen and was introduced to the watch. I was like, dude, another device, really? And then one of my buddies was like, "Do not discount this. This is a amazing device. You've got to give it a chance." And I remember at the Eco seminar. So if you don't know what Eco is, it's 3 days, jam packed. It's almost like TED Talk style, where people are talking all about health on a pretty deep level. And it's easy to lose focus because there's so much information coming in at one time. And I had the device. And so I think day two, I put it on. I'm like, I'm going to give this a try. I put it on focus maybe halfway through the day as I was losing focus. And I'm pretty sensitive. I recognize when things are changing within me. And within about 10 minutes of turning on this focus um, frequency, I feel like my brain is just like, I'm connected. Like, wow, I am really here. I'm present. My mind is no longer wandering. I'm really engaged in what the speaker is saying. My note taking got better. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's something to this. And so I brought it home, sharing it with my wife. And she's like, oh my gosh, I want to try it, of course. Ended up getting another one. And so what's been really cool with her is as she's going through hormonal changes and kind of perimenopause, um, during her cycle, like way more regulated, like little to no headaches anymore. The emotional roller coaster that happens throughout some of those days is way more even keeled. And she's kind of experimented. She was like, I'm not going to use the device. Let's see what happens. And she recognizes, wow, there is a big difference when I'm using this frequency versus when I'm not. And and then with patients, I mean, this has been remarkable where my family is not, I would not classify any of us as chronically sick. We have our challenges, but not in the way that my patients do. And some of them have had transformational change where they've gone through Lyme daily, they've done well, they've had to do some trial and error with frequency because frequency can cause detox too. But as they're working through it, like back pain's gone away, headaches, like we're talking headaches that have been around for decades. And using some of the frequencies, the headaches have gone away. Feel like there's just more pep in their step as they're walking. They're able to get out and take walks every day. So it's been fantastic using this in combination um, with what we already do, with protocols, with some of the energy work that we do. It's really been a significant benefit, and I'm happy to be able to use it and have it.
I love that you brought up in conjunction with, right? There's so many folks still that think these things can be a magic bullet. And I tell them all the
Right,
time, no, it is another tool in your toolbox. No energy work can overcome a crappy diet, not sleeping at night,
right,
overstressed, right? Like the foundations of health. And I have to make a little disclaimer. He talked about focus. That's not a regular frequency that's out to the general
sorry.
public. Yeah, the Cellcore folks got at the conference got a special frequency set that only the Cellcore folks got. It was a conference special, but hopefully soon, because I was all jealous. I'm like, what do you mean focus? I need help with focus. So hopefully they will release some of those frequencies out in new suites. As they start doing new bundles, I have a feeling some of the stuff will come out. But I just wanted to make that clear. So if people were like looking for focus on
Where
the
is it?
watch and they're like, where is it? Yeah, we get a bunch of angry emails into the Nikki. But yeah, so disclaimer, if you're looking for focus, it's not there yet.
I was going to say, and also like this, I've had a few people that have said, well, what about grounding? What about getting out in nature? I'm like, this doesn't replace that. This is another tool in the toolbox. If I'm building a house, I don't want just a hammer and a saw. I want to have everything that I need to be able to build a house. I don't want to be missing supplies and not have something. So I feel like this is a really super valuable tool that works in conjunction with all the things that we're already doing. And nothing, no protocol, no anything is going to replace like lifestyle factors. I think our lifestyle is so important. How do we connect with ourselves? How do we connect with our family? How do we connect with I think that connection is so important. And this is just another way to, now you're helping connect cells, right? More cell communication, more communication within the body. And I just see such a benefit with that. So
Absolutely. So with the little bit of time we have left, can you give us just a few actionable items for folks who are dealing with chronic illness, who are not knowing where to go, where to start, can it feel overwhelming? There's lots to think about, lots to do. Kind of what are your beginning steps when you're working with somebody?
So my first steps are always, I'll go back to drainage. I feel that you can never go wrong. No matter where you are, whether optimal health, whether chronically ill, working to support your liver. So things that I like to do in the beginning are castor oil packs. They have great companies out there that sell really good castor oil. There are different products that you can do for the liver to help support those pathways, that are going to help optimize your different phases of detox, that are going to help work with digestion. I'm a big fan of enemas, right? I used to not be,
I love coffee enemas. I've been
right?
doing them for 7 years. I love them so much. There's even a bit about them in my stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and so these are simple things, maybe not the enema. Castor oil is one of those simple things that can be done that you just wear the pack for an hour a day. And I find that just even doing that without adding any supplements is going to make a difference. And then working on things that are going to help support your energy. And there are specific products that we use, but I would say in terms of, I'll say for food, I think getting rid of products with seed oils. I just had a conversation today with a guy. I like hamburgers. I love meat, right? And I do like a good hamburger, but I don't eat the French fries anymore. Or if they say, here, potato chips, do you want these? I'm like, no, I don't want fries. I don't want chips. I don't want any of this. I'll just take the burger. And they're like, well, that's boring. Okay, it's a choice that I made. But you can get rid of small things that are adding to this dis-ease in the body. And I think those are really simple steps. Drinking water, quality water, filtered water, not tap water. I think these are like simple steps that if people are at ground zero with not knowing what to do, these are like 3 easy things to do that will have huge benefit for the body.
Absolutely. And I love that you brought in the inflammatory oils. And I love like people like Paul, oh my gosh, I always jack up his last name. Saladino, thank you. And he is just all over with the seed oils and, in these restaurants' faces and getting, things changed because that's what it takes, right? We've got to stop because the brain inflammation that these foods are causing is such a detriment to society, to our children. Like it's horrific and it should be criminal, but yeah, so thank you for bringing that stuff in. So if people wanted to find more about you, this is like the shameless plug time. Like, what are you working on right now? What are you putting out there?
So I have a podcast. It's called Restore the Real. They can find me there. You can go on to Facebook. I have a Facebook group called Empower Act Heal that you can join. And I teach there live every week. And then coming soon, which I'm super excited, I'm going to be hosting a health summit. That's going to go live in November. And so on our Facebook group, there's going to be information on that. On Restore the Real, our podcast, there's going to be information about that. Those are probably the 2 best ways to connect with us. Our website's Total Body Wellness Clinic, but really for better connection, it's going to be through the Facebook group and the Restore the Real podcast.
Fantastic. Thank you. And also make sure to visit wearenikki.com/podcast and enter in BioBeats for 10% off. And because we love our customers and appreciate them so much, We give away a Nikki with a wellness frequency set on every episode. So you'll find details going back into the show notes and signing up to win. Good luck. Make sure to have a healthy day. Thanks for joining us.
There's a new word for wellness, Nikki. Nikki, the bioenergetic wearable designed to help you feel better and perform better. Other wearables just track how you're doing. Nikki is about helping you do better. Touch the Nikki screen to choose the frequency you want for what you want to do and how you want to feel. Nikki puts a personal wellness center in your hands and on your wrist. Be better. Do better. We are Nikki.com.
Hi, my name's Stephen Davis, founder and developer of Nikki, a personal frequency delivery system. This wearable is designed to deliver frequencies into the body to speed recovery from Lyme disease. Our Lyme suite of frequencies are the newest version of our Lyme recovery program. Thousands of Lyme sufferers, which include my family, use the Lyme daily to overcome Lyme disease. Today, I'm proud to announce a new suite of Lyme frequency sets that are going to be focused on co-infections. Nikki is loaded with Lyme Daily, which deals with the Lyme disease, plus 9 additional frequency sets designed to address your worst co-infection symptoms. Those frequency sets include bacteria and virus, detox, emotional balance, gut health, histamine, mold and fungal, Lyme sleep, pain and stress. And we know that those are going to be well received from people with Lyme disease. We are passionate about speeding your recovery from Lyme disease. It's a terrible disease that no one should have to live with. Once you have used your Lyme Daily, then choose from the 9 frequency sets designed to offer relief from your most persistent symptoms. The key is to stick with it. Don't frequency hop until you've used the Lyme Daily. Best practice is use the other frequency sets for a minimum of 2 hours before switching to another. This is giving the frequency sets time to bring your body into balance. Good balance means good health.
The views, information, and opinions expressed in this content are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of FreeMedica. FreeMedica Technologies, Inc. and its employees are not responsible, nor verifies accuracy any of the information contained in the following content. The primary purpose of this content is to educate and inform. This content does not constitute medical or other professional advice or services.